Do you manage your career? Do you manage your finances? I suspect you probably manage your finances more than you do your career. So what is a resume? What is a CV? It's your sales proposition. You only get one chance to talk about exactly who you are, one chance to sell you. A resume, a CV in Europe and certain parts of Asia, it's called a CV. Here in the Americas and other parts of the world, it's called a resume. Both documents are almost the same. I write resumes in all countries. I've got clients in about 30 different countries as we speak. Who am I? My name is Martin Buckland. I'm an executive career management practitioner. I specialize in three areas: senior executives and those who aspire to be business leaders, executive master of business administration, candidates and graduates, so EMBAs, and I'm also considered a global expert in mining. So a resume should only be, it's a very succinct document, it's your sales tool, should only be a maximum of 3 pages. Don't go any more than 3 pages. This is your chance to be bold, be brassy, sell yourself. One kick of the can, that's all you get these days. To complicate the issue, resumes generally aren't read by human beings anymore. Sadly, they're read by technology. What is that technology? It's a scanning application. It's called ATS, Applicant Tracking System. So many people, so many, hundreds if not millions, are counted out of opportunities where they are the perfect candidate just simply because they don't have an ATS, an applicant tracking system format, resume or CV. How sad is that? People have been in career transition for months and months and months just simply because they don't have that ATS format. So you don't want to end up in the online recycle bin. So here are my tips. Don't be outdated. Don't show objective. Don't show the profile, and references available upon request dates you immensely. You want to be up to date. Hopefully some of these 7 tips today will be of benefit to you. Number 2, you need to have the right keywords. So many people are missing out totally on keywords. Keywords are important. Let's take a step back. That ATS scanning application is also a database. So you're to send your resume to executive recruiters, and they won't give you a call back immediately, if ever, but they store your resume in the database. And when a job becomes available for you with your skill set, they will then hopefully call you. And I'm going to be interviewing some executive recruiters on Zoom in the next few weeks, so stand by for those webcasts. But your resume goes into their database. It also goes into corporate databases, and it's pulled out based on functional and industry specific keywords. So if you're in finance, you need to have all the buzzwords that are pertinent to finance: accounting, FP&A, financial planning and analysis, MD&A, management discussion and analysis, internal controls, treasury. The list goes on and on and on. Corporate compliance, SOX, Basel 1, 2 and 3, and any other buzzwords. So play a game with yourself when you're rewriting your resume, and hopefully many of you will watching will now go away and rewrite your resume after this presentation. Think about, well, if my resume was hidden in my computer, what business, functional, specific buzzwords would I type in to have my resume come out? Very, very important. So the right keywords. Now, don't have too many. The maximum I would suggest is 20, but have about 18. So you do it in a table or a column format, and you can do 3 columns of 6 or 2 columns of 9, but make them pertinent to you. And then if tomorrow you saw a job that's advertised and you don't have those keywords in your existing resume, but you have those skills, make sure you put those buzzwords in a resume and customize that resume to that particular job. I create generic resumes for my clients, and then they go and tweak it according to the job. And I write a resume every day. Remember, you are a star. Every one of you watching today is a star. What do I mean by that? Every one of you has star stories. I build my resumes around an acronym, and many of you probably heard this, called STAR. Situation, task, action, result. Situation, task, action, result. So STAR stories. You need to build your resume around that acronym. People are going to hire you because you are a star. Now, coming back to what I initialized earlier on, they're not interested in your responsibilities. They're interested in you making the money, you accomplishing consistently. Performance is very, very important. Gone are the days of responsibilities. However, the only responsibilities I now put in a resume, or generic resume, are your number of direct reports, your number of indirect reports, your CapEx budget, your OpEx budget, and your P&L. There are exceptions and there are additions if you are responsible for a number of facilities, like in manufacturing or offices, then you put those number of offices. Or if you're in mining, you have to put the chemical 2-letter name of the mineral that you are familiar with, and the number. If you're in a mine, you have to put the mine and what they're whether they're mining in ounces, tons, or whatever. But generically, all you need is the direct reports, indirect reports, your CapEx budget, your OpEx budget, and your P&L. And the rest is filled with star stories. There is a rule of thumb that an executive recruiter or an HR professional are looking for 1.5 star stories per year. So if you've got 2 years at a job, 3 star stories would be good. But when a client engages me, I try and push them for another 1 or 2 star stories at this end of their career, because we hire for performance. And the more performance-driven stories you can have in your resume, the better it's going to sell you. So remember, you are a star. Be bold, be brassy, and sell, sell, sell. Proofread. I see so many resumes with so many errors, grammatical, spelling. You only get one kick of the can here. It's first impressions. What's a person going to think if they see a dozen or so spelling mistakes at the other end? Not good. That probably count you out of being a candidate, because what does that show? You're not very detail oriented. So proofread yourself, and then have an independent person, a friend, or maybe a couple of friends or family members to proof it themselves as well. You can never get too much proofing. And while we're talking about that, be sensitive to where you are in the world. The English language is different depending on which country you are in. So if you're in the UK, it's different from the US. And it's different from Canada. It's different from Australia. So not only should you put Word into that particular country's format when you type your resume out, MS Word, Microsoft Word, but you should also be sensitive to minor grammar and spelling differences between all the English countries. And generally, across the world, resumes, CVs are delivered in English because it's the business language. So be sensitive to the country-based English. Proofread. Career gaps. It's perfectly acceptable to have career gaps these days. Many people, it has just occurred because of when they were terminated, when they were laid off or whatever. But other people take sabbaticals. Other people have been caregivers to their families. So make sure you cover that gap, because one of the red flags that an executive recruiter or an HR professional will do is look down on the right hand side, because you have to have the dates on the right hand side for ATS friendly. They look for gaps that are missing, because that's one way of screening you out. And if there's 1 year gap, that sends a red flag, and that questions, well, what did this person do? Be open, be honest. You did something in that year, whether you were caregiving, maybe for your spouse, maybe for your parents, or you took a sabbatical, an academic sabbatical. You went back to university, or you took a personal, a travel sabbatical, but explain it. One of my clients today, he had a gap of 2 years in his resume. So I questioned him, and he said he built a house that was a large house, his dream house, for 2 years. So I said to him, well, you were a project manager. And he said, yes. So he took a personal sabbatical, and he project managed the design, worked with different stakeholders, the architect, the general contractor, and all the trades to build his dream house. He took 2 years off. Now he's got his dream house, and now he's back in the market. But you need to show that. So be open, be honest. Gaps need to be filled, because otherwise gaps ask questions. Wrong emphasis. So many people have bold capital letters selling their company, ABC company or XYZ company, more than they do the position. What are you selling? Your company name, or are you selling the position? This is your resume. It's a personal document. It's not your company's resume. So de-emphasize the name of the company, take the bold out, and have initial capitals, and bold capitalize the position, because this is your resume, not ABC company or XYZ companies. So I hope you've got something from those tips. I can keep you going tomorrow to breakfast tomorrow morning, but I'm more than happy to offer you a free, no obligation resume critique. So I will give you 30 minutes, close to 30 minutes of my time, and I will tell you as it is, because I'm very realistic about your resume. So you will not only gain a lot of information, but you will learn from our half an hour together.